So just more tax money of ours going to the United Nations, you know, the king traffickers of the world, and always have been. They have been. This is from the Federal Registry. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, located within HHS, announces the award of approximately $36 million for year one funding to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. The award will provide support and vaccines for supplemental immunization activities, as well as support towards strengthening of routine immunization delivery systems and capacities in developing countries to achieve global targets for vaccine preventable diseases and eradication. Well, they haven't eradicated anything. They haven't. They just come back whenever they feel like it and say, oh, we have this polio outbreak in New York. And then just like the science never takes any responsibility for the fact that they've never come up with any cures. Everything is vaccines with these people. That's not a cure. Clearly it's not. The single source award will support UNICEF in collaboration with partners. Yeah, all your NGOs, your non-governmental organizations that are usually front shell companies to launder money and then traffic children. In collaboration with partners to sustain, this word sustain, sustainability, so needs to be removed from the vocabulary. It does. The minute you see it, you know UN. UN World Economic Forum. That's why I continually say there's 17 unsustainable development goals, because they're totally unsustainable, because it's all just a front so that all of their laundering and trafficking activities can continue. We wouldn't have such a trafficking problem if it wasn't for the UN. This is the reason Trump wanted to dismantle NATO. Okay, this is the reason they hate him. Took us out of the WHO, World Health Organization, because America's not about all of this. We are not supposed to be, our Constitution is very clear about this. But because we have a bunch of Americans, most especially at the CDC, but really all your three-letter agencies, that have decided, no, we're just going to go along with the global agenda, and they think there's no repercussions for that, they're just not smart people. They're not. I mean, Trump seems fairly confident, if you've heard his last couple of announcements, that all of the things that he will be reversing on day one. It's not like 2024 is all that far off, and you never know what can happen in between now and then. So I would just say, that's why I put that video out last week saying, you know what, turn back from the road you're on. Really, these organizations here in America, your unions and nursing associations, if you wait until that ship turns, then you're going to be part of all of that criminal activity, because that's what it is. Global, regional, and national immunization program capacity needed to achieve the globally agreed upon. Agreed upon by who? It was not agreed upon by we, the American people. Just because we have a bunch of globalist people that have been presidents on the left and the right, and we have globalists in Congress and the House on the left and the right, and all the three-letter agencies are globalist, doesn't mean that we, the American people, who are the bosses, even though they don't recognize it, but truly that's the reason they've all violated the Constitution. Don't you see? This is why the continued hate is at Trump, because they're petrified of him. Because do you know what the repercussions are for treason? I think most people do. Treason is hanging. You get hung. If you're found guilty of treason, and it's not by, your Supreme Court, that's a military stuff, tribunal kind of thing. It's a quick trial kind of thing. You get hung. Our Constitution is very clear about this. And yet that's the reason they go balls to the wall wanting to go after this man, because he was going to take us out. He said when he went to Davos, America will stay sovereign, because once And there's many other countries that don't want to be on board with this. That's why when I see National Nurses United, the heads of them are just a bunch of commies. They are. I'm not saying that to be exaggerating. They are. That's why they push the Medicare for all. It's not because they care about because if they were smart, then they know what Medicare for all does in every country. It ruins it. It ruins it because then the top of that healthcare system and the head of that union, they're just going to have guaranteed income, and then they don't care how bad your healthcare system is. Worst thing ever, always has been. It's been proven time and time again in countries. No matter how good they tell you it's going to be, no, it's not. But they're destroying the healthcare system, cutting nursing staff. They are all on board with that, doing it on purpose. That Bonnie Costello, the head of National Nurses United, doing it on purpose. Making the healthcare systems looks like we can't handle anything, so they can push that to the globalists in Washington, because you cannot go into your globalist communism, because globalism, I'm going to say it again, globalism, all it means is communism on a global level, but a communism like we've never seen. So locked down, so surveilled on every level. Davos is very clear about this. They don't hide it. I think most people that are awake, you've seen enough of the videos with the Noah Yuval Harari, all of them. They're just out of their mind, right? So that's the reason why Trump is a threat to them, because he said, no, we're not doing any of it. That's why he pulled out of the world. Plus, we shouldn't have to pay the UN a dime, okay? Why should my taxes have to pay for that? That's the reason why we continue to get robbed. It's because of all this globalist shit. Yeah, so this is all part, and it says right here, the globally agreed upon goals of the immunization agenda for 2030. Well, there you go. It's all part of that agenda 2030, the immunization. The science is obsessed, like Fauci, with the immunizations that really they don't, because there's still measles. That's what they tell us. Just whenever they feel like it, oh no, we just have to keep doing these. I mean, if they had it their way, you'd go every week for a vaccine. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. All the money that these genome labs are getting to do what? To do what? That's what I want to know. Well, we do know. They've been stealing data. You know, there is a GINA Act in America. Whether we would have any, Supreme Court or any kind of justice system that would acknowledge it. But people, you have a right to your data, which is your genome. But some of these hospitals, if you worked at them, not all of them, but some of them, like Northwestern, yeah, just for a TB test, takes 5 big, huge tubes of blood. That's what they did to me when they came in and merged. It's like, you need all of these tubes of blood for a TB test. Why can't you just do it the easy route? Oh, well, this is what the CDC recommends. Except other hospitals didn't do that. So then you were stealing data. But they don't care. These are all your heads of your hospital. They're at Davos. They're with that whole globalist agenda. Again, a bunch of communists. This is why they go after Trump. This is why they're all trying to put this whole... that, suddenly, and I'm not saying I support it. I said I don't, because I don't support trampling on people's freedoms like that. That's not what our country's about. For far too long, the people have stayed silent and let the government and these corporations, most especially, get too much power and trample all over our rights. And they recognize that Trump was putting a stop to it. And you know what? I think anybody is really stupid to count him out, because he sounds very confident. He said before, I have everything on all of them. So I'll say it one more time. I think really this period of time is giving people that window of decide if you want to keep staying on the road you stay on. Because if you continue to stay on at CDC, or the people that work at CDC, then you could find yourself facing a lot of criminal charges if you continue your agendas with globalists and disregarding our Constitution like it doesn't matter.